Greetings everyone. Why ESG and sustainability matters the most for organizations. So today I'm going to share with you all little bit about the risk management. Businesses that ignore ESG criteria can face a multifaceted kind of risk, regulatory penalties, environmental disasters, social backlash, and governance scandals can all have significant financial implications. Investors attraction. Increasingly, investors are looking to put their money into companies that demonstrate responsibility and foresight, of course, in terms of ESG areas. Sustainable investments are seen as more resilient, intensified, and we call it as future proof. Consumer demand. There is a growing consumer preference for products and services from companies that are socially and environmentally responsible. Regulatory compliance. Governments and regulatory bodies around the world are increasingly imposing strict guidelines on environmental protection, social responsibility, as well as corporate governance. Innovation and we look at innovation and competitive advantage. Focusing on ESG can drive innovation, opening up new market opportunities. Sustainable business practices can be a significant differentiator in a crowded marketplace. Long-term viability and success. When we talk about long-term success or long-term viability, companies that are very much forward-thinking in their approach to ESG and sustainability are well positioned for, we call it as a long-term success. They are adapting to the world-changing needs and they are more likely to endure as sustainable entities. In this case, I would say the integration of ESG and sustainability into the business model is no longer optional. It's a crucial component of modern corporate strategy. And of course, this shift represents a more enlightened understanding of a business role in our society at this era. We also should recognize that true success is measured not just in profit margins, but in the positive impact of the organization which can bring to the world. So, ESG also brings a shift in the corporate paradigm, we call it. The shift in corporate paradigm is more like towards a more understanding of success, which signifies a profound change in how business nowadays operates and it defines their goals. This new paradigm places a strong emphasis on environmental, social, and governance ESG factors, which can make a difference or departure from the traditional focus on financial performance alone. All right. Besides that, ESG also can embrace a broader definition of value from profit to purpose. Historically, corporations have been primarily measured by their ability to generate profit. However, there's a growing realization that nowadays businesses should pursue purposes that benefit to the society and also our environment. This shift is driven by a broader stakeholder approach, considering the interests of consumers, employees, communities, and the environment, alongside for those shareholders as well. Stakeholders, when we talk ESG for stakeholders capitalism, the concept of stakeholder capitalism is nowadays like it's gaining traction. It presides that companies should serve the interests of all their stakeholders, not just shareholders alone. Right. Changing expectations from the perspective of the society and also the investors. Consumer awareness. Consumers are increasingly aware of the social and environmental impacts of the product that they purchase and the practices of the company that they support. This awareness drives very much demand for greater corporate responsibility. Right. We also look at ESG in terms of the technology and data. So it incorporates for data-driven insights, whereby advances in technology such as AI, data analytics have made it to measure and track a company's impact on ESG factors. This transparency allows for more informed decision by consumers, by investors, as well as other stakeholders. We also looking at leveraging technology for sustainability. Companies nowadays are using technology to improve their efficiency, to reduce waste, and create sustainable solutions. This innovation is a key driver in the shift towards more sustainable business practices. When we look at one a major issue which happened in um, Japan, all right, so it happened in um, Fukushima, if I'm not mistaken. There's one part of Japan whereby they release the nuclear energy into the sea, and whereby a lot of shellfish and also the marine life had been affected, and people were skeptical to consume Japanese food after that due to that mercury level and the contamination that happened due to the nuclear release. So we got to be very careful and vigilant about this, because once the nuclear is released, the tritium inside the nuclear, it's, none of the technology can release that can even save the sea. So in terms of global challenges, a business which operates in an increasingly interconnected world, global challenges like, for instance, climate change and social inequality, it requires a coordinated global response. And companies are expected to play their part in addressing these kind of challenges, right? When it comes to corporate culture and leadership, there will be some cultural shift within organization, and also we look at leadership for the future, right? When we look at, I'll cut short my video, because in the real life class, I mean physical class, face to face, I'll be sharing with you even more insights, and also how to make ESG as a compliance, and the success rate of companies which actually practice ESG, and they had measured their success using the metrics and also the GRI reporting and so many other tools, software and so on. Right, let's look at environmental perspective. Right, the environmental perspective in redefining corporate success focuses on how business impact the planet and what are the steps they are taking to minimize this impact. This shift is driven by a deeper understanding of the finite nature of our natural resources and the critical need to preserve the environment for the future generations. And there are some key aspects that we need to focus on under the environmental perspective, such as climate change and resource management, which comes under reducing carbon footprint. And a lot of companies are working into reducing the carbon emissions. This includes like they invest in the renewable energy resources, like they improve the energy efficiency, and they do adopt cleaner production methods, and they do sustainable resource usage, like business focuses on resource management, water conservation, sustainable raw materials, and implementing circular kind of economy principles where waste is minimized and the resources are like reused and recycled. Right. So the last part I would like to touch before I'm ending my video is about biodiversity and ecosystem protection. We need to preserve our natural habitats so that the climate change is not going to attack us in any way. There's a growing awareness of the importance of preserving natural habitats and biodiversity, of course. Companies are adapting practices that minimize their impact on ecosystem, like reducing deforestation, protecting the endangered species, and also restoring the natural habitats. Right, we do also touching on the impact of assessment and so on. So far, I think I've touched a lot of segmentation here. I hope to share more values, and the implementation part will be done by my other associates about ESG implementation for various sectors, so that you guys will be able to understand better on the importance of the implementation and why is it going to be a compliance very soon. So that's all for now. I hope that I had a little bit of values for you all today, and hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you, and have a great Saturday.